to You're Not Gonna Like This, man. This is season 4. Ooh, who would have thought I'd made it this far, man? Season 4. This is episode number 51. I mean, feels good to be back in the recording studio, the booth, and go ahead and getting another classic YNGLT episode done. Kicking off our season 4 is none other than our good brother Jed here. I've known him for about a year or so now. If you know Pete, this is his right man hand from his college, just like Pete's my right hand man from back home. That's the connection. Otherwise than that, I've never really interviewed anybody in the dance scene before, so this is a first for myself to get in this line of artwork. Nonetheless, Jed, go ahead and introduce yourself to the crowd, the people.
Yeah, so my name is Jed Osei. I know Ira through one of my best friends, Peanut. Michael Doopy, been called by his government,
And
but yeah, met him back at Tech, and I met Ira through passing, and we've been cool ever since. Today, I'm representing Comeback Crew, which is my crew that I made with a couple other folks. Shouts out to Ethan, Lena, and Taylor. Um, but as for well, I had the idea of creating the team, dance team, and they helped me execute it by finding the right people, creating the right documents, and creating the right stage to do so. So without them, a comeback crew would not exist. So shout out to them. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. That's a little bit about the crew. We're gonna get into it a little bit more later, but that's a little bit about me right now.
very, very sincere, very modest. So we like to see, we like to appreciate the others. So we like to hear that things. We like to hear those things as well. Nonetheless, so based on what I just learned is that you are the founder and director of the Comeback Crew. So first off, I love to know the creative story behind the name. Like, where does Comeback Crew come from? Why the name?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Actually didn't have a name for the crew when we first started. We did not know what to call it. So originally, I'm gonna give you a little bit of background. So the crew was started back in 2022, at the end of 2021, the beginning of 2022. In the dance community in the DMV area, there is this showcase, which is a performance of different types of dance teams in an area. Typically, what we do is hip hop. Um, uh, we do hip hop and then we do all different types of things like that. But typically, when we say showcase, it's really in the hip hop urban choreography scene. And I can say that because I'm black. They can't say it really because there's a lot of mixed people. But uh,
I don't think that's entirely accurate, but
hey, man, we can go into that a little bit later. There's a lot
as
more.
I don't know, I don't
But
know if that's entirely accurate.
but kind of continuing off of that, uh, that's like the name. That's literally the name of the type of dance we do. So if you see it on Instagram, you see it on TikTok, that's what we do. That's what my team does. We are dancers. So when we say urban choreography, it's really just dance moves that you can do on your own, find on YouTube easily. And those are the ones that are usually that you see on like Twitter, Instagram that are going viral. So when I say urban choreography, that's what I mean. As in anybody can do it. You don't need to have a formal background, any formal training to learn these types of dance moves or to do this type of choreography. So, kind of finishing around that story with that in mind, in 2021 and 2020, there was COVID, and there was a lot of people in the dance community who didn't go to this annual showcase that people look forward to every single year. It was our senior year in 2021, 2020, and we didn't get to perform, as in people who went to tech and people who were in the Virginia community, dance community, didn't get to perform because of COVID. And so I was talking to my friends. I was like, yo, like, I really want to create a team of people who didn't have the opportunity to dance because of COVID during that time. And so I did not know what the name was going to be. And so I just put a bunch of people in the group chat that I knew in passing in the dance community. And I was like, yo, do you guys want to be a part of this movement, this project team? Um, and so we started practicing in Manassas, Virginia at the end of 2021. And we first like debuted at this showcase in 2022. And so ever since then, we've been kind of going strong. So it's been about almost 2 years at this point of leading this team and doing a lot of great things. But the name came about because when we were going to submit our application to perform at this showcase, um, I thought that I was like, okay, like what are we gonna name this crew? And so we originally came up with the idea of the seniors because like those were the people who the seniors, yes, bro. Like
Glad
in
you, yeah, glad you didn't go down.
I'm glad that you talk about her, bro. It was so lame, bro. It was so lame. And
You should go see the seniors.
it was so lame, yo. It was so lame. But then it was the seniors, then they changed it to Cold Crew. Like people were like, okay, we're rocking with Cold Crew. I'm like, that doesn't sound tough either. It doesn't have a ring to it, you know? And then I was talking to one of the people on the dance team at the time, the same team, and she was like, "Oh, Cold Crew, LOL. Let's call it Comeback Crew because like I just came back out of injury and retirement for this shit." And I was like, "Yo, that's perfect. Comeback Crew. Like that's it. That's it. Perfect. It embodies our vision, it embodies our idea. Comeback Crew." So shouts out to Jess. Um, she really made this happen with that name, Comeback Crew, and we've rolled with it ever since. So long-winded story, but that's how we have the name Comeback Crew today.
So we learned today that y'all are four formational breakdancers. We also learned that black people can only say urban. That was a I thought. I didn't know that was an exclusive word. I have to dabble in Merriam-Webster for that one. And then also, that's pretty tough. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
It's always funny how names can't come along and how they develop. They always come by incident. Funny
Yes,
story
sir.
about You Not Gonna Like This name. That name came from Jamil.
Oh,
Because if
really?
Yeah, because if you know me, then you know me in Music Central. I'm known for one thing only. I'm known for my unpopular opinions, within reason, of course. Because you're never gonna like what I gotta say, so you're not gonna like this. See
Never gonna
caveats,
like that.
no words there works perfectly well, and I look to the brand for most part. I don't do it just to be saying it. Most of my takes be well baked and thought out. It's just a lot of people don't like those thought out takes. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and dive into the next part. Is so you kind of already answered what made you join the crew because you got that passion for dance. So we're not going to go ahead and go back over that again. But so why is
Yeah,
but the question is why dance? What made it a passion? What made it something you want to pursue? Because I don't
yeah.
think you can dance in college, so it's always good to see you.
Actually, I did dance in college, so kind of bringing it
Major in
back.
it?
I did not major in it though. It
That's what
wasn't like,
I think.
oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had
I
to
did
get
not
you
major.
major.
Yeah,
You didn't major,
yeah.
man. It's always funny to see how you got that that creative flow from doing it something
hmm
outside you do in your everyday life. So explain that. Why is it a passion? How did that develop?
Yeah, so I mean, going all the way back since I was a little kid, my dad is a Christian artist, and so ever since I've been born, my house is always playing music. It's usually gospel music, and of course that's how I got introduced to hip hop because he listened to a lot of Biggie, too. So, and also a lot of Three Stacks, is who he listened to back in the day. And so I always grew around music and, trying to embody music and trying to be a part of it. Very blessed to have that in my life if it wasn't for my dad and my mom. Um, so kind of just growing up, I've always been around music. I played piano for 15 years. I played an instrument called the baritone, which is like a formal instrument, baritone.
My
You
woodwind.
familiar?
I
Exactly.
know what
Okay,
you're
you're
talking
sorry. So you're sorry. Yeah, I played baritone for
about. That's my little song.
Yeah, so I played baritone for like 8 years too, and I know a little bit about drums and guitars. So I grew up around instruments and formal music around my whole life, right? And I always thought that music was amazing. How I got into dance, though, that's important because I got into dance as a result of like a little bit of a like a I was a very competitive kid as well. So
Things up.
exactly. So when we had this little showcase in seventh grade when I went to like my middle school that's in the area, and there's this kid who was like dancing. He was really good at for his age. Him to be this good is crazy. Was like mad crazy. Like going back on it, he was ridiculous. And and now, of course, like I'm a geek. Like I was like, oh no, I'm better than this kid. I'm better than this guy. I can do it. I can do it. So
Hype
he
yourself
was
up.
dancing. You said what?
Gotta hype yourself up.
Yeah, that's literally what we had. That's what happened, bro. So he was dancing like for the showcase. Like there was like this pep rally, and they were like, "Does anybody else want to go up and dance with him?" And I was like, "I'll do it." And people are geeking because like I'm obviously like not the class clown, but I be making jokes, and I have a very charismatic personality, so everybody knew me. So when I said that, it was like a huge thing, right? So I got over there, and this kid smokes me. Like I'm telling you, he smokes me, bro. Like if we go back into, I'm glad there's no recording. I'm glad seventh grade was right when the iPhones were coming out because if we can go back, bro, he smoked me, bro. Like let me tell you, like
Oh,
it was he like
oh,
3-0, 4-0, knocked me out, beat me up, bro. He was, and
sweat
so I'm
off the dance floor.
I'm
That's
telling you, bro, he swept me, man. It's
oh,
ridiculous.
that's
And
terrible.
so um. And so, I mean, of course, I'm geeking, and people are like not taking it seriously. But I took that way too, like, I took it to heart. I'm very emotional when it comes to this stuff. I took it to heart. So I remember the same exact day. It was October 12th, I think 2000, and I think 2012. I was 12, right? Um, and that's the first day I was like, okay, how do I dance? How do I dance? Was the first video I looked up on YouTube, and since then it's skyrocketed, bro. How to dance, I learned how to wave, learned how to tut, learned how to pop. There's like a lot of terms there, but it's like the history of how I started to get into dance, and then from there it ballooned. I am an obsessive guy. I obsess about a lot of things that I like, and I delve into them. And that's the first time in my life I realized, like, okay, this is for me. Like, I am a dancer. Like when I looked at the video and started doing these things, I'm like, no, this is what I was meant to do. Like I felt that way. Um, and so through a lot of trials and tribulations, I made it here today and still dancing about 10, 11 years later. No formal training though, all self-taught. So it's a little different. If I was formal training, it'll be different. But that's how I got here today. And so
Oh, go ahead, finish it. Finish it.
my fault. You said also like what made me join a crew. Well, I wanted to be in a somewhat semi-formal group going into college because in high school I also made a crew. And that was cool, but I only had 2 years with it. And I was like, I really want to join something like this, so you be a part of something bigger, in this little niche kind of art form. And I had the opportunity to join this dance group called Dope at Virginia Tech, Dope Crew, and I was on that crew for 4 years since freshman to senior year. And yeah, that's how I got all the friends I have in dance. That's how I have the amazing connections, the amazing people in my life that do dance, and I am very blessed to have them around me. And that's just how I am today. Does that make sense?
It's a nice, heartfelt story. You like to hear all the bits and pieces. How he got swept, had to pull out the
I
wiki
sweat.
how. I ain't wiki how to dance, how to pop,
Yo,
lock, drop. Man, was working
bruh.
on videos. Bro, I had to dive in deep, man.
I had to dive
Man was out
in
here
deep.
trying to mimic Chris Brown crawl a couple times when he had to go showcase it. Oh, you know.
Don't
Uh,
geek.
if you know, you
Nah,
know.
you funny, bruh.
You know, man. I used to watch that video all the time, man. That joke was
That joke
man
is
hit
funny,
the man
bruh.
get the arms, whatever he was doing in one of the cuts. I
He was
don't know. I
going, bruh.
still can't do it to this day. That's very crazy.
Uh,
Nonetheless, man, it's always good to see people obsessed with their passions. If you know me, man, that's how I am with the hoops, man. Like I love the hoop. That's all I ever do. That's all.
facts. Facts.
Practice it. You would think do I be training? I be training like I be preparing for the Rec Olympics out here, man. I be really like
Recollect.
today I'm coming back. Today was my first time hooping since I separated my shoulder a couple weeks ago. I
Oh,
swear,
word.
I swear I put up like 200 shots a day. All within 10 feet though. All within like 10 feet. I couldn't anything past
Hey,
12
bruh.
feet. That shit hurt like hell. I was like, yeah, all that.
Ah,
I was like,
dang.
absurd.
You'll
So
be back
now,
though very soon.
oh, of course. I'll be dropping 30 in no time. You know how it is over here. But nonetheless, it's always good. I mean, you've experienced it firsthand.
Nah,
So
yeah, nah, yeah. I'm, you different, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you different. You different. You put in the work.
Hey man, but that's enough about
That's your thing.
myself. Enough about myself. You know, we'll talk about me and my hooping passions on Triple Threat or something. We'll get to that another day, another time. But like I said, it's always good to see those that are obsessed with their passions outside of it. It's good to have some sort of skill outside of your 9 to 5. You know, I'm a personal trainer. I love training people. I love doing exercise. I love doing all of it. But it's also good to hone in and focus on something else, like doing the podcast or this or anything else I like to do. Playing 2K. I like to be good at my hobbies. People ask why I used to practice and stuff like that. I like being good at my hobbies, bro. Nothing's worse than going out there and
Facts.
having a hobby and sucking at it. That's crazy. How can you have a hobby and
Facts.
suck at the hobby?
Suck at it. Yep.
That's
Let's talk about
crazy.
this.
That's
Crazy, bro.
embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Very embarrassing. Very
Very embarrassing.
embarrassing.
But nonetheless, man. So again, I feel like you answered this a little bit with the second question we're going to. Answer a little bit of
Hmm.
what they represent, talking about the urban background, but I feel like there's more to that. So answer that about what the crew represents, and then what's the goal of the group? What's the goal for the group?
Yeah, let's talk about that for sure. So, Comeback Crew originally it's ballooned to do a lot of things. Comeback Crew originally represented some people's opportunity to come back to dance, whether they started dancing in college or in high school and wanted to come back and learn and be a part of a group that was like a little bit low stress, was big emphasis on was low stress, where we're just chilling, vibing, learning from each other. And so
Mhm.
it represented an opportunity for people to come back and learn with their folks that they would have learned with. Yeah. So word to that. Let me refine it a little bit. It is like a comeback to dance. That was the original plan.
Okay.
Um, and everybody who was kind of a part of the group had some sort of experience in the collegiate dance community in the DMV area. Um, whether it was in college or in another team that is similar to us, that is quote unquote post collegiate, meaning, post college team. So, that was the original goal. But today it represents a lot more. It represents an opportunity for people to learn how to dance in a semi formal structure, um, and to have an opportunity to give back to the community and to be representatives of openness and welcoming, personalities and cultures for the dance community. I say that to say one of the main goals of Comeback Crew is to provide back to the community for the community in the sense that um, I don't think a lot of I'm not this is not a jab to anybody else or any other teams in the area because dance teams are dance teams. They exist for solely dance. Um, but for me, I unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, give a lot of purpose to everything I do. I think everything needs to have some sort of a reason.
So,
Um, yeah, don't need to, but that's how I see life, right? I think everybody has a purpose, and I think things could be used to elevate and bring up the things around you. And I say that to say, in the amazing opportunity with leading Comeback Crew, I felt that there was a missing void, missing opportunity to give back to the community in all aspects that aren't dance. So now, what do we do? We do is we try to host workshops to teach the community dance. Share this passion of dance, right? Um, but also, we do this so we can use our power as leaders and as dancers to support a cause better than us, better than or more important than dance, and kind of something that's more structural in our society, which would be any sort of humanitarian uh problems. For instance, last year what we did during this time is we did a food drive. We did a Thanksgiving workshop intensive, which is a series of 3+ classes given taught by people from the dance team and from the area. And we had people come in. If they came in with 3+ cans of food, we gave it to um, the homeless. We had a homeless organization that we kind of contacted and worked with, so we could do a food drive with using our powers and the things that we had around us. So we did that last year. In the middle of the year, we also did a another food drive. This time it wasn't for homeless folks; it was for those who deal with abuse, those victims of abuse and single mothers. That's what we did for the beginning of this year. And this year, pending everything that's happening over in the Gaza Strip, we're hoping to be able to give and do a fundraiser again for those that are displaced and those who are injured in the medical community over there during this Thanksgiving break when we do our annual um, Thanksgiving intensive again. So our goal is to be able to use our dance and use our passion to help those that we might not ever see, but we want to be able to give as much help and support to those causes that are important to everybody who's on the team. So that's kind of what the goal is of Comeback Crew now, I would say.
So that's all right. That's
Yeah.
pretty specific. So I would say get you on BET. BET's trash now. So we're gonna go. We're
Hey,
gonna go with VH. We're gonna go with VH1, man. Get this man on
VH1,
VH1.
bro, put us on the map. We need
Get
it.
us on. Get him on VH1 or
We
America's
need it, bro.
Next Band Team, whatever that show was called back when we was kids. I can't remember what the show was
That joint
called.
was lit though back in the day though.
Yeah, man. You heard of Jabberwockies? Well, the comeback crew is coming. No pun intended. No pun intended.
That was funny, bro. That was
But
tough. That was tough for
nonetheless,
sure,
that's pretty
man.
tough, man. It's good to see that you're involved in multiple facets. It's good that you did not restrict yourself to
Yes,
dance.
sir.
You chose to, embrace it. You chose to teach others and be an inspiration to some, be an assistance to others. That's always very, 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 very good. Nice to see. It's good. It never. This is all. It's always. It's always good. It's always good to say that you never want to restrict anything you do in your life. This goes for anybody out there that has a passion or anything that they're working on.
Always. Always.
Always look to dominate your passion. Look at all the facets, look at all the ways, look at all the ways you can impact, look at all the ways that you can do things, because you never know where it could take you, you never know who you could impact, and you never know where you will end up because of the little things you did and the little things you changed from the beginning. Therefore, that's how everything is done here. We got music, we got regular interviews, and I think it's topical conversation is the correct term. Hope I said that correctly. Nonetheless, you got basketball and we got football. We all over the place. But that's the best part about it is, you know, opinions carry everywhere. So you might as well attack everywhere. Nonetheless, that's
Uh,
very good. That's very good. That's very good to hear. But, you know, the next part of this is, man, you let me get this correct. You are from an African descent. But what is the exact country? I don't want to assume here. That could be
no, straight. My family is from Ghana.
Ghan,
Ghana, yeah.
Ghanian. Is that correct?
Yeah, Ghanaian,
Ghanaian.
yeah. Ghanaian, yep.
Ghanaian. I
Yeah.
pronounce it right on the first try. Let's go.
You're close, bro. It's tough. It's tough. Don't worry about it. You good, bro. Um, yeah, so my family's from Ghana. That's probably why my parents are so religious. And that's why we always have gospel playing in the background for anything we doing. So
Nothing wrong, little Fred Hammond here and there, man. Gotta have a little Fred Hammond going on, man.
yes, sir.
Man,
Yes, sir.
he probably was a praise dancer on the low, but you left that out for secret reasons. It's okay. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's
Yeah,
all good. Let's
no, for
explain
sure.
how your back. So explain how your background impacted your dancing. Like, what do you take stuff? Do you take stuff from that culture and you incorporate it into your routines? Do you use like yeah? Explain how that impacts your dancing. Like, what does it do for it?
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. My original, the moves and the style in urban choreography slash street dancing slash hip hop dance, um, it wasn't originally loose, as in I was a very stiff dancer. Over the time I was mad stiff, but now you will see me, I'll go crazy, right? And like I'm fluid, cool. But like back then I was stiff as bone, man. Like I was boop 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 like stiff, bruh. So so
Oh, a
I'm
robot, man.
like a robot, yo. So um it wasn't until I started to mature and realize, hey, I'm very happy that I'm West African. I'm very happy that I have this culture around me. I want to start dancing, and I want to start embracing my culture through dance, right? Not to say I am an Afrobeat dancer, an African dancer, because I'm far from that, and I have a lot more to learn in that realm. But I am very happy to use my heritage and be able to learn to like Afro dance or Afrobeat dance in a way. And so whenever I have my family around me, we're always getting down. But if like not urban choreography, it's always just like Afrobeat dancing. And so you'll see like videos on probably TikTok's probably the best idea. Like I know it's very, very popularized right now and it's very, very viral. which is fine, which is great. I really appreciate that. And so that culture is being shared around the world. And I feel like that has impacted me to learn more about my culture and learn more about where these dance moves come from, because you will often see, like, maybe in a video out of like South Korea, you'll see Afro dance moves that originate from Accra, Ghana. And I'm like, yo, that's not cool. So I want to learn originally where these moves are coming from. Also, something I've noticed is like all these like viral moves that aren't like, viral dance moves in general that maybe originate from Black culture, they all have some sort of root in Africa, which is mad cool too. And it's like, as I've grown up and learned more about my culture, I've learned how much our culture, West African, Ghanaian culture, really is worldwide, and people don't know it. And I think that's really cool. So it's impacted me to be a lot more understanding of my culture, and dive into it and understand that, hey, we are really what dance is from the roots perspective. So yeah.
That's good. That's good. Glad you used that to get your flow right, man. I ain't gonna pull up to a show and you over here dropping and popping and you stiff as a board. I need some rhythm, man. You got rhythm in it, man. You so
Yo,
stiff.
rhythm, bruh, is mad
It's
crucial.
embarrassing. It's embarrassing
It
when you stiff. And it's so funny. It's
is
funny,
embarrassing, bro. I
I went to
tell
the
you.
club. I went to the club a few weeks ago, and I was talking to this girl, and they was playing. They was playing. She was Spanish. They was playing a Spanish song, and she was
Yeah,
trying to tell me how not the two step, but the four step. It was crazy. I was sitting here. I was like the four step. I was like, that's what I call it because that's what it was. That's what they was doing. I ain't never seen it before. And the kids, man, you got to move your hips, dog. I'm sorry, bro. You got to move your hips. You got to move the hips, man. I know you may not be comfortable, you may not like it, but you gotta move the hips, man. It's the same way
facts.
learning four step. When I went to the party, you had caught a dance to the reggae song, man. You got to move the hips, man. Because if
Facts.
you look stiff, you gonna be on
Stiff,
somebody's
bro.
snap, man. You
I
gonna be on
swear,
somebody's
bro.
creep
That
out here.
stiffness
You
is
don't want that. You
crazy.
don't want that. So man, definitely learn how to move with the beat, groove with the beat, because it's always fun. And plus, just have a little fun. Let the flow come to you. If you try to always be so rigid and you try to just be so stiff with everything, you take away the creative impact, and that goes for just not only dance. That goes for pretty much everything, really. Honestly, like if you always just basic and you always so structured. Structure is nice, don't get me wrong. Everybody should have a foundation. But foundations build upon themselves. You got the foundation build on itself and stop just staying within it. But that's enough. That's enough out of the book of Iris. We're not gonna keep going
Book of
there. So,
Iris geeking.
yeah,
Nah, you were dropping some knowledge. That's some dance stuff,
I
though. Where's the
got some,
foundation?
I got some quotables. Keep it
No,
going.
you do, bro.
Like I
Unfortunately.
said, man, this season number 4, man. It's getting better with
Yes, sir. Always, bro.
time. Nonetheless, so we know everything about you as a dancer. We know about the Comeback Crew. We know what their role, know what their mission is. But now let's talk a bit about yourself, man. Like, so what's next for you personally as a dancer? And after you answer that part, what is your piece of advice to inspire others to get into the dance world that may be a little tentative of it?
Yeah. So, me personally, I am in a place where I, as you said, want to commit to being better at my hobby, right? And so all
Mhm.
throughout this time, I'll be training, right? And we have structured training, but on top of that, I'll do light training, um, outside of that. But this next year, I really want to be a lot more conscious about what I am doing in my outside training time and being a lot more consistent about how I'm going about training. Because ultimately, my goal as a dancer is to be able to dance to anything. But at this point, I also want to be really good and clean about how I convey my message to others. I feel like yeah, quotable. I want to be. I want to be able to dance, and people are like, okay, this guy's good, and he knows what he's doing. Because sometimes I'll dance, and like dancers will know what I'm doing, but then like not everybody. People will be like, okay, he's kind of moving, he's kind of
Be
flowing.
relatable. Gotta be relatable.
Got to be relatable, right? And so that's a good thing about like my personal style is like my primary. I would say my primary style is hip hop dance, so it's easy for everybody to get used to it. Like it's not too crazy. but at the same time, I want to be able to be clean enough where people can be like, okay, this guy is crazy. Because I feel like all my life or all throughout dance, I've been kind of good, kind of all right. I've gotten on my team, and then like I feel like I have so many other dancers around me who are at a higher level, and I'm like, okay, bet like it's time to work. Like I need to dig in, I need to lock in. So that's kind of where I'm at with dance right now. Not to, I'm competitive by nature, I am. Not to say I don't have love for all my dancers around me, but they push me to be better, and that's what I'm going to be doing this next year. However, if anybody is listening to this, and they want to get into dance, bro, just search that Google, search that YouTube. How do I dance? There's this great resource called CZ.co.
Not the wiki now. The
Like
wiki now
wiki
is
now.
clean.
I
The
mean, it's a
wiki
lot
now is
easier now though. Like it's so easy now. I feel like back in middle school in like 2012, 2013, um, in 2011, like it was cool. Like you could still look up dance videos on YouTube, but like right now, there's so many resources at your fingertips. TikTok will teach you everything you need to do.
it's tremendous. Tremendous.
It's amazing, bro. It really is, bro.
See how to do. I don't know the dance. I don't know the dance too. It's two dancers that are from Baltimore now. I can't remember. It's two of them. It's two
Yeah,
of them.
there's a
I don't know the names of them, of course, but I know.
yeah,
I know
there's
that
the
they,
yeah.
they
Go ahead.
broke them. They broke them down. I
Yeah.
can't. I can't do it. I'm not even gonna try. Too much going on for me. I can't. I'm gonna stick to my two steps and my four steps, man. My twos and
Yes,
my fours.
sir. But yeah, like that. Like so, if you're on the fringe, just look it up. Don't be scared. Dance by yourself. But if you, chances are, if you're in Virginia, you're close to a couple places where you can dance. If you're in the Northern Virginia area, there's so many resources. There's Comeback.crw. We have monthly workshops. We have the Tessas coming up. There's Day One, who's like our sister team. In a way, we use the studio with them. And we're cool. Some people are on Comeback.crw are also on Day One. Some people are on Day One. We're on Comeback.crw, vice versa. And they host workshops. They host dance workshops. There's another crew called HCF, Hyperspace Command Force. They're cool people too. They have workshops. That's in the Northern Virginia area. Then there's also Certified, and there's so many different studios in near DC as well that are in Virginia that have a lot of dance opportunities. If you're in the 757, there's a team called Crucial that has dance workshops. There's a team called Movement also down there that does workshops as well. If you are in the Richmond area, there's a team called Elevate. There's another team called Blank Canvas that hosts workshops. They're all beginner friendly. Everything I've listed is beginner friendly. And there's even some more opportunities to learn like street style dances, which would be the ones that are a little bit more niche, as in popping, breaking, Vogue, house dance. Those things are also everywhere you can find them, but more so in those populated areas like DC and Richmond and 757. And so in Roanoke, there's a dance team as well. And then if you're in any of the Southern Virginia area, I would just go to Blacksburg to learn from my old team, Dope. They teach workshops as well, and those are completely free. So most of them that I've listed are you pay like $10 or $15 per class, but the ones that are in the South, as in 757 and Blacksburg, Virginia for Dope are usually free. So those are opportunities for anybody to come in with any experience to learn how to dance. I want to say you don't have to have any sort of background, any sort of flexibility, any sort of anything to learn how to dance. Like literally just if you're really on the fringe about it, go to a class. Go to a class. Look it up online. Record yourself. Have fun with it. Like it's a passion meant for people to express themselves. So express yourself in your way and don't be shy about it because as a dancer, like you are showing other people how you feel to the music that you're listening to. And that's something that's very, very, very um, cool. I think that people need to start to get out of their comfort zone a little bit more. So, if you need any more resources, though, just hit me up. I'm sure I'm gonna have the Comeback Crew at is there, my Instagram's there, and I'll give you a bunch of resources. And I'll give you a bunch of videos and a bunch of articles for you to read. So, if you're on the fridge about it, come talk to me. We can find a solution for you to start dancing for real, for real. No cost to you.
What a way to shout out all the dance crews in the VA. Definitely 80475 and 703/540 for those living in Alexandria. Nonetheless, it's pretty cool to hear your passion as a dancer. What's next for you? Good to hear all that. Good to see. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
definitely be creative. Let the music guide you. Let the dance take over you. Don't, don't hold yourself in a box. What we learned today. Be transformative. Change the game. Be
Facts.
different.
Be
Never box
different.
yourself. Always be different. I mean, that basically sums everything up here. We got down to the nitty gritty. We got to learn about Jed, the main man, a little bit, and the comeback crew, nonetheless. I mean, that's pretty good for you. I mean, do you got anything else you'd like to add, or so you ready to talk?
I ain't got anything else to add. Shouts out to Ira for having me
I
today.
man,
I
I'm
man,
just racking up nicknames
superhero.
this week,
You said
man.
what?
Racking up nicknames this week, man.
Oh wait.
Some. I'm gonna say off the camera, but I've been racking up a lot of nicknames this week. It's been crazy.
Yeah, but he's our guy, man. Shouts out to Ira for real for having me, allowing me to speak about my passion. I know everybody's different. You don't really hear about dance that often. So I feel like I really appreciate the opportunity to
Of
speak.
course, of course.
You said what?
I said, of course, of course, of
Yes,
course.
sir. Always, always. And yeah, I ain't got much to say. Shouts out to Ira, shouts out to Peanut, shouts out to Comeback Crew, shouts out to Cali, Big Crit. Let me stop. No, but
Oh,
Big Cuz, Big Cuz in the day. Yo, Big Cuz, no. He's Big Cuz in the crew. He's our artistic director. Shouts out Maddie, artistic director. Shouts out Chris with the graphics. Shouts out my team. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. I don't think they realize how much I love them. And yeah, thank you so much for having me, man. I appreciate you. If you even want to talk or anything, my social is at Ask the Jedi. How you hear it at Ask the Jedi. So yeah, that's all I gotta say, man.
well, that's basically that sums it up there, guys. Appreciate y'all for tuning to this edition of You Not Gonna Like This. Is everything, this is the first episode of season 4.
Season
Again,
4.
glad we made this 4. We turning up. We're looking to drop another good 25, 26 episodes, see how it goes. This is the first of many. We're gonna keep it coming. We're gonna keep delivering as always as we do. As always, this is your host signing off, and see y'all soon.